Is this working? Am I here? Are you here? Are we doing this? I hope it is. Let me know in the chat if I'm actually working. I think I'm delayed. I think that's what's going on here. So this is going to be really strange for the first few minutes that we do this. So Vinny, Amos, answer me. Let me know if you're seeing this. Hi, Stacey Gotsulias. We're live streaming on a Friday night. We're looking at baseball cards. Should be interesting. Hopefully this is working. It should. I think it's working. Cool. Thank you. Okay. So we're doing this. This isn't going to be a normal Locked On Yankees. I'm not doing the normal sort of thing. In case you're watching this for the first time, I'm Stacey Gotsulias. I'm the host of Locked On Yankees. I'm a podcast host and soon-to-be writer again. And I'm glad you all could join me for this. So what happened was Jesse Spector, who actually got me this. Okay, that's really cool, Ralph. Ralph Garcia said, I still have my Mickey Mantle bat from Bat Day at Yankee Stadium in the early 1970s. I got a bat, I want to say it was Bat Day 1985. But it may have been 1984, and it was navy, and it had a white stripe around the handle, and we were sitting in the main section in right field at old Yankee Stadium, obviously, and we ran into two different families that we knew from our town that we didn't know they were going to be at the game, and they were there with us at Bat Day, and it was just really funny because we always tended to run into people that we knew in the most random places. My favorite was in line at Big Thunder Mountain Railroad in Disney World during a midwinter break. We ran into way too many families that we knew. It was really kind of weird, but anyway. So Jesse Spector, who got me this job at Locked On Yankees, he's the one who brought me on nearly 5 years ago, sent me a bunch of cards, and I thought it would be fun to look through these. You know, I'm looking at a Fleer 1992. They're mostly cards like that. And the first card, oh great, the light's shining, is Bill Gullickson. Now the fun thing about this, hi Michael, is I'm a Peloton person, and Bill's daughter Callie is a Peloton instructor. And I kept these cards in the order that they were sent to me, and he was right on top. And I thought that was really hilarious that I take Callie's classes and her father's card was the first one on the pile. And I actually let her know on Instagram that this happened, and I put a picture up of the card. So Bill Gullickson, at this point in 1992, he debuted in 1980 for the Expos. And by this card, so through the 1991 season, his career ERA was 3.66. He was 131 and 109. He had pitched 2,063 and one-third innings, 315 games. Not bad. Not bad at all. Fun fact, Bill Gullickson and his wife named all 6 of their children with C names. 5 girls, 1 boy. Wow. The boy's name is Craig. I remember that. It's Callie, Kelsey, and now I can't remember the other girls' names. I'm so sorry. But I know the boy's name is Craig, and I wonder what it was like for a boy to grow up in a family of 5 girls. Oh, Ralph, 79 degrees in Miami. I'm jealous. It's not that cold here, though. Not yet. You know, honestly, we haven't really had a bad winter. It hasn't snowed, really. I'm knocking on wood because I don't want to jinx us. Yeah, it's 40 here. Although it's supposed to be a high of 40 on Sunday, it's supposed to be cold. So Bill Gullickson, I thought that was funny. And he played, let's see, he started with the Expos, went to the Reds, played with the Yankees for a year. Or no, half a year. 1987. Wow, why don't I remember Bill Gullickson on the 1987 Yankees? He went 4-2 with the Yankees, pitched 48 innings, had a 4.88 ERA. Then he went over to Japan for 2 years, Pitched for the Astros in 1990, pitched with the Tigers in 1991. That's quite a career for Bill Gullickson. Now this one, this is one of those special cards. Wilton Guerrero, Los Angeles Dodgers, star rookie card. In 1995, Guerrero's 23-game hitting streak for Class AA San Antonio from May 27th to June 27th was the longest in Dodgers, or not in Dodgers history, in the Dodgers system for the year. The shortstop batted .398 during the streak, helping him to his .346 overall mark that led all minor league shortstops. Among Dodgers prospects, the 22-year-old placed in the top 5 in hits, triples, and average. So he batted the .348 with San Antonio to lead not only the Texas League, but all Class AA hitters. So this is 1995, Wilton Guerrero. Those are fun names to look up. Oh, this is a Fleer 92 checklist of different teams. You have the California Angels, the Chicago White Sox, Baltimore Orioles, Boston Red Sox. A lot of familiar names. I'm not going to go through them all. It's a lot of people. There's some basketball cards in here, too. Oh, look at this. This is a 1985 Topps card. Tom Gorman of the Mets. Okay, these numbers are way too small for someone with bad eyesight, even though I wear glasses. He played for the Expos in 81, 82, then played for the Mets in 82, 83, 84. I don't remember Tom Gorman. Do you guys remember Tom Gorman? Let me know. Oh, I remember this guy. Mike Lieberthal. This is a 1997 card for Mike Lieberthal. And it is an Upper Deck baseball card. This picture is kind of funny, though. Look at the way he looks right now in that picture. Huh. Yeah, it's funny. I remember these names, but I don't remember much about these guys. He's 2 years older than me. He'll be 51 on July 18th, just so you know. Oh, okay. Here we go. Yankee card. Clay Christensen. Do we remember him? Fun fact, Mike Messina deliberately finished second in high school because he did not want to give the valedictorian speech. That sounds like Mike Messina to a T. I definitely... I adore that man. I adore just the way he is, and I think he's really funny. So Clay Christensen. This is another 1985 Topps card. He started with Oneonta, went to Fort Lauderdale, Nashville, Columbus in 83 and 84. Pitched for the Yankees in 84 as well. Mostly in Columbus, though. He threw 107 and 1/3 innings in Columbus, 22 games. And then he appeared in 24 games for the Yankees on the big league level, 38 and 2/3 innings. His ERA was 6.05. That's not great. He was a big dude, though. He's 6'5", does that say 05? Or 85? No, he doesn't look 285. He looks 205. No, 285 is big. 285 is Aaron Judge big. So Clay Christensen, does anyone remember him? Vaguely, maybe? I don't know. Vaguely. Oh, here we go. Here is a score card from 1992. We all know this guy. Doc Gooden. Yeah, the writing is way too small on this, but 85 was his year. 24, in case you don't remember, 24-4, 1.53 ERA in 35 games, 16 complete games, 276 and 2/3 innings. He gave up 198 hits, 51 runs. He walked 69, struck out 268. That's amazing. He was really Doc Gooden was unbelievable. And he was young then because he turned 20 in November of 64. So he was 20 that season. He didn't turn 21 until after the 85 season ended. That's amazing. I remember how gaga the city was for the Mets during those years and how my Mets friends were trying to convert me into a Met fan. My homeroom teacher in junior high also tried to convert me into a Met fan. The first day of school, he asked everyone if they liked the Mets or the Yankees, and only two of us admitted to liking the Yankees, me and my friend Andy. And he just busted our humps all fall long. He drew a Mets logo on the chalkboard. I think he used a projector to put it on the board, and then he colored it in. It wasn't like he did it freehand. But he was, and he did the countdown to how many games they needed to win the World Series, and it was a whole thing. Let's see what this is. This is Leaf. It's a Leaf card. 1993 card, and it is Mr. Edgar Martinez. Now let's talk about this dude and the rest of the Seattle Mariners who were frightening during those years. I spoke about it when I talked about Dwight Gooden's no-hitter. Yeah, Ralph. Ralph Garcia says Mets barf. Yeah, I mean, I didn't grow up disliking the Mets. My dad watched Met games. My cousins in Long Island grew up liking the Mets. My dad took them to games because their parents divorced when they were younger, so my dad was always taking them to Shea Stadium. My first game was almost a Mets game. Luckily, I probably wouldn't have remembered it because it was literally the day after my 3rd birthday, and it was in Atlanta against the Braves. We were coming home from a trip to Disney, and my dad had one of my cousins from Long Island. He wanted to take him to a Mets game against the Braves, and they nearly took me, and my mom said, she needs to go to bed. So my first game could have been a Met game. So Edgar Martinez and the Seattle Mariners, frightening, was at Dwight Gooden's no-hitter, and it just felt like someone would get a hit. Someone had to get a hit at some point, and it never came. It never came. And when I had David Cohn on the show nearly 2 years ago now, right? That was the 21 season I had him on. I asked him what it was like to pitch to teams like, the Mariners and Cleveland back then, because there were a lot of scary dudes in those lineups. And he said, yeah, it wasn't fun. It was not fun navigating through those lineups. And speaking of the former Cleveland team, nice segue. Carlos Martinez. This is another 1993 Leaf card. These graphics are not really good. It's hard to read the numbers on the back of the card. I'll show you. It's not easy, and especially if you can't see like me. So in 1992, he batted .263 in 69 games, 228 at-bats, 60 hits, 9 doubles, 1 triple, 5 home runs, 35 runs batted in, and a stolen base. Good for you. Oh, here we go. Okay. This is the card that has a mistake on it, and it's a very funny mistake. At least to me. So it's a Topps card from 1990. And it is everyone's favorite Fox commentator, John Smoltz. Yeah. Everyone loves John Smoltz, right? So his first year with the Braves, 1988, the line on the card is wrong. It says he appeared in 12 games, that's correct. 64 innings, that's correct. 2 wins, 7 losses. But it also says he gave up 340 runs, which is not correct. I believe when my brother looked on Baseball Reference, it was 40 runs. He gave up 40, but for some reason there's a 3 in front of it, because if he gave up 340 runs in 64 innings pitched, his ERA would be way higher than a 5.48. So, yeah. You gotta love mistakes like that. John Smoltz. He looks really different there. So I thought that mistake was funny. Could you imagine someone giving up 340 runs at any point? I don't think any team would allow someone to stay up for that much. I mean, some managers make guys take their lumps, but that's a bit much. Ooh, okay. Couple of Red Sox coming up here. Here is a Fleer 1992 card. Mo Vaughn. Poor Mo Vaughn. Poor Mo Vaughn. That's what I'm trying to say. The Red Sox screwed him. They really did. These numbers are really, really small. Okay. He played in New Britain in 89, Pawtucket in 90 and 91, and then he went up to the Sox in 91. Hold on. My eye is burning for some reason, and I don't know why. Talk amongst yourselves. How's everyone doing? We're a week into the new year. Well, nearly a week into the new year. Are we all keeping our New Year's resolutions? Have we given up on them? I'm still trying to keep mine. Or, trying. We'll see. All right, the next one is a Topps card from 1990, and it is of Jody Reed. I remember Jody Reed. Not well, but I don't understand what's going on with my eye. Hold on. I'm so sorry. This is like the most inopportune time for my eyes to start burning. It might be the lights shining on me. He came up to the Red Sox in 1987 as a rookie, played 9 games. In 1988, he played 109. In 89, he played 146. And he batted, what does that say, 288. Pretty good. Only 3 home runs. He wasn't, he wasn't a big guy, so it wasn't like he was going to come up and be a world beater. Yeah, no, he's my size. He's 5'9", but he was heavier than me. 168. I'm not 168 anymore. I'm lower than that, but that's funny. So yeah, basically Jody Reed is my size playing baseball. That's hilarious. Oh, a new card, relatively speaking. This is a 2019 card. Oh, can you see it? Travis d'Arnaud. Travis d'Arnaud. I always say the D at the end. Why do I do that? So let's see. Yeah, this is all, he was with the Mets that whole time before he went over to the Rays. Travis, a double-digit homer guy 3 times from 2014 to 17, spent almost all of 2018 recovering from Tommy John surgery. When injuries wiped out Tampa Bay's catching core this past May, he joined the Rays. Yeah. So let's take a break from the cards. How is, what's going on with Carlos Correa? Do we know? We don't know who the mystery team is, but we know there's a mystery team involved. And I hate to say it. No, I don't hate to say it. But if the Mets don't sign him after all of this fuss, I think it'd be pretty hilarious, right? On both ends. I think it would just be ridiculous that this has been going on for how many weeks. And if they don't end up signing him, I mean, it's worse for Correa and it's worse for Boris because it makes them look bad that the medicals, like, I don't understand how the medicals are this bad. How has this man been playing the past few years if something has been this wrong with him? Like, I don't get it. Hold on. I'm so sorry. The drippy eyes are making my nose drip, how's that happening? Ralph Garcia, there's no way I could ever be a Mets fan. I was taking the Yankee games in 1961 when I was 2 years old. Nice. My dad, I can't remember who he said hit the home run, but he was at a game and a ball was heading right toward him at the old stadium, so the lower right field fence. And my dad was tall. He was, 6'2" in his heyday. And I think it may have been a mantle shot, and someone dove right in front of him to steal the ball from him, and he was really pissed. I mean, he was pissed about that until the day he died. I've never been near enough or close enough to a home run to catch it, but in the 2010 division series when the Yankees swept the Twins, Game 3 was at Yankee Stadium. Phil Hughes pitched that game. And both home runs that were hit, I think it was maybe Marcus Timms and Nick Swisher. I know Swisher hit one, but both home runs that were hit right in front of me. I was in the first row of the bleachers. And you can see me, my brother, and my cousins in the highlights of those home runs because the balls fell right in front of us. But one of them looked like it was coming near me. And when I tell you I was terrified because I was the only lady person surrounded by about 50 dudes in the bleachers. And my first thought when I saw that ball in the air looking like it was heading toward me, my first thought was, I'm going to die. These guys are going to kill me for this ball. Thankfully, it died and landed in, I think that's section 104 103 in front of 203. So, yeah. Correa can go anywhere but the Yankees. Yeah. At this point, Amos, with the medical stuff, I wouldn't want him either, Correa, because that scares me. Would I have, if there were no medical issues, how do you say no to Carlos Correa and having that bat in the lineup, even though he's not the handed guy that you want, because you want more lefties in that lineup still, because the Yankees are still too right-handed heavy. But yeah, not with those medicals. I agree. Okay, Mark Petkosevic. Does anyone remember him? What year is this from? 96. 96. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's why I don't really remember him. I didn't really pay attention to the National League in 96. I was too busy paying attention to the Yankees. No offense. Used as a starter in 21 of his 26 appearances last season, Mark allowed the fewest walks per 9 innings among 7 Cardinals who made at least 10 starts. He tossed one of the Cards 2 shutouts in 1995 as he led the staff in innings pitched. How many innings did he throw? 137 and 1/3. Good for you, Mark. Good for you. Oh, it's a former Yankee, just not in a Yankees uniform because it's right before he got there. Danny Tartabull. Danny Tartabull. I didn't mind Danny Tartabull, actually. Wow, he played in the minors. Billings, Tampa, Waterbury, Chattanooga, Salt Lake. Mariners, Calgary, Mariners. And then he stuck with the Mariners in 1986. In 1986. That was his first full major league year where he played a bunch of games, because he was with the Mariners in 84 but only played in 10 games, and he was with the Mariners in 85 but only played 19 games. So the 1986 Mariners, he played in 137 games. Good for him. And he did well in 1986. He had 25 home runs, 96 runs batted in. In 87 with the Royals, 34 and 101. 88 with the Royals, 26 and 102. Then the next 2 seasons, not too great. And then in 91 with the Royals, 31 home runs and 100 runs batted in on the nose for Danny Tartabull. What year is this? 95. It's a 95 scorecard. Oh, and it's this way. Ismael Valdez, relief pitcher. I remember that name. Again, I don't know if you guys, I don't know if it's because I'm a Yankee fan, but also because of the way we grew up watching baseball. You didn't see a lot of the National League teams, especially before interleague play happened. And the only way that I would see a lot of these guys is watching SportsCenter, watching CNN, reading the newspaper, looking up box scores. Sometimes like if the Mets played teams, because I would watch Met games. I didn't not watch the Mets. I wasn't raised to hate them, like I said earlier. So, there are some guys from the National League from those days that I do remember, but it's not the same as watching a whole bunch of American League games, right? Can someone else who grew up in the same era as me or even before interleague, you don't really know about a lot of these guys. Now this is, what is this? I can't even tell. Oh, Fleer. Hello. Okay. Omar Alvarez. Wait, sorry. He's he's one direction on the back and the other direction on the front. See. So let's see. In 1992 with the Cardinals, 3.84 ERA. He was 9-9. He pitched 197 innings, 32 games, 1 complete game. No saves, 189 hits, 84 runs, 63 walks to 124 strikeouts. He was born on 7/6/67. That's a nice palindrome. Although, for us, not for other countries who write their dates differently. Yordan Alvarez. Which is really funny because it says Alvarez Houston on the front. It's a Topps card. And I'm like, who the heck is Alvarez Houston? This is a prominent baseball card. That's what it says. Prominent baseball players. And baseball, 2 different words because it's like an old-timey kind of card. A 2016 trade with the Dodgers brought Yordan to the Astros, who apparently pulled off a contender for the deal of the century. The Cuban masher made the 2017 SiriusXM All-Star Futures game in his first season as a Houston farmhand, then produced 20 homers and a .534 slugging percentage in the high minors in 2018. Yordan's 2019 encore was historic. After slugging .742 at AAA, he received a call-up and promptly won Rookie of the Month for June, July, and August. He set a major league record for runs batted in by a player in his first 45 games. He drove in 51, smashed 21 long balls in his opening 60. Pretty impressive. I didn't realize I had 2 of these. Oh, look at this. Okay. Ron Kittle. Remember those old cars? And this is another 1985 Topps. Those old uniforms, I meant. I liked those old uniforms that said Sox across the front. And when they brought it back for 2013 and they wore them, I believe the White Sox wore them every Sunday at home. I thought that was the coolest idea ever. And I think all teams should do that. And I think they just did the top, the jersey top. I don't think they did the pants with the numbers on the bottom. I'm not sure. I have to look at old pictures of the 2013 team. But they should. Ron Kittle is the one that is he the one that commissioned the really cool gift to Mo when it was Mo's final year? I think he did. So let's see. This is an 85 card. So let's see what Kittle did in 1984, 214 average. That's not good. That's almost like a guy now because he had 32 home runs and 74 runs batted in. So the 74 runs batted in isn't a lot, but 32 home runs is pretty good. But with a 214 average, and let's see, he struck out 137 times. He walked 49 times. He had 100 hits on the nose. That's an interesting line. And I didn't realize he was that tall. He was 6'4". It's pretty big. We have another Doc Gooden card. This one is a 1990 card from Topps. And he was still young in 1990. So yeah, the back of this card shows his 85 season, and it shows all of the stats that he led in. So obviously ERA, complete games, obviously. 16, I'm going back to the 16 complete games. That's, I don't know if you see a whole team throw. You know what I mean? Like an entire pitching staff could go the whole 162 game season without throwing that many. That's insane. What a sad turn of events for, what is that? Oh, Kyle Schwarber hitting a walk-off home run. It's a card of him hitting a walk-off home run. Look at Rizzo in that picture. That's funny. Oh, look at this. Another Cubs card. Rick Sutcliffe. This is a 1988 Don Russ card. Rick Sutcliffe. He was also big, 6'6", 215. That's a big dude. You know, I always joke about all the big dudes that pitch now. I mean, there were some big dudes in the 80s and 90s, but I don't know. I feel like it's more common for guys to be huge, you know, like on the 6'7", 6'8" end of the spectrum. Oh, everyone's favorite Yankee. Can we see it? Joey Gallo. No offense, Joey Gallo. Oh, Amos. Not much access to baseball in Australia in the 80s. Had to watch whatever was available. Oldest card I have is 1988 Darryl Strawberry Mets. Vinny, don't worry. What are we up to? We're up to like 30 minutes of this. I still got time. So if you want to hang out, let's just hang out. Hang out, chat. Because this isn't a regular show. It's a live stream. And if you want me to do this, I mean, I'm not going to open cards every week. But if you want me to do a live stream every week, I will. We can talk about whatever you want me to talk about. You can ask me questions in the stream. I'll answer them as best as I can. Not promising you anything, but... Okay, so Joey Gallo, let's look at this. This is a Topps card from... what is this? 2019. Joey credits Chris Bryant's father, Mike, for teaching him swing mechanics when he was a kid that were ahead of their time. Backspin the ball to center field as high and as hard as you can. Another huge power season for Gallo in 2018 included a, holy cow, 470-foot moonshot against the Cleveland on July 20th and a 466-foot blast against the Red Sox on May 5th. Now, it's funny, when you look at his averages for all these seasons, 2016 and 2015, you know, he only played in 36 games in 15 and 17 games in 2016. So looking at 2017 and 2018, he batted .209 in 2017, hit 41 home runs, drove in 80. And in 2018, he hit 40 home runs, drove in 92, and his average was .206. So, yeah, I feel bad for Gallo because I like Gallo. He was funny. And it just didn't work out for him in New York. And that's a bummer. Here is an Upper Deck card from 1991 of Paul Molitor. Pretty sure my father and my brother met Paul Molitor. My father and my brother did 2 baseball trips. One year, they made it out to, how far did they go? They followed the 1990 Yankees around. Can you imagine? They followed the 1990 Yankees around. And even the 1990 Yankees were like, why are you guys following us? We're horrible. My brother said my dad was talking to Deion James, which I think is the funniest thing in the world. But they did a trip the following summer, and I'm pretty sure they met Paul Molitor when he was with the Brewers, because they went out to Milwaukee. They also saw Nolan Ryan. Which milestone was it? In 90 or 91? Someone look that up for me. Nolan Ryan. Whatever it was, my brother and father got like a commemorative certificate for being at the game. So here's an 87 Don Russ of Brett Butler. Not the Brett Butler who had that show, Grace Under Fire. So Brett Butler played with the Braves in 82 and 83, played with Cleveland 84, 85, 86, because this is a 1987 card. Brett Morgan Butler. Born in Los Angeles. Yeah. I almost said it again. He led Cleveland in stolen bases in 1986, had the most triples by a Cleveland player since 1952 in 1985. How many triples did he have in 1985? 14. He also had 14 in 1986, and he had 13 triples with the 1983 Braves. Pretty impressive, Brett Butler. Oh, another Tampa Bay Rays Topps card from 2019. Brandon, wait, is this Lau? Even though it's spelled low. You know, there's like 3 guys with similar names, right? And they all pronounce them differently. 2018. 100 games, 380 at-bats, 113 hits. He hit 297, 22 home runs, almost read that wrong, 76 runs batted in, 8 stolen bases. Wow. Brandon only weighed 130. Wait, 130? What? Brandon weighed only 130 after his junior season in high school. Quote, I never expected a whole lot. I just love playing baseball and I wanted to keep playing wherever it took me. It took him to the University of Maryland, where he blossomed into a 3rd-round Major League Baseball draft pick in 2015. 3 years later, on August 28th, he hit his first Rays homer. Pretty cool. Wait, how tall is he? 6 foot. Well, guys, you guys grow more than girls do. Like, girls usually stop at a certain point and guys keep going until after a certain point. So I'm sure he wasn't 6 feet and 130, but who knows? I mean, Chris Sale's like 6'6" and 160. So, it could be. This is just a commemorative Cal Ripken Jr. card. The baseball world stopped September 6th when Cal played in his 2,131st consecutive game, erasing Lou Gehrig's long-standing mark. He didn't erase it. He surpassed it. It's not erased from history. That is a weird phrase that they used on that card. You don't erase a record. You just pass the record and create your own. This is a 1991 Topps card. I remember this guy. Scott Bankhead. I remember Scott Bankhead. Now, what happened to him in 1990? Why did he only play in 4 games and only pitch 13 innings and have an 11.08 ERA? I wonder. Maybe he had to have Tommy John or something? Because the year before, actually, that's probably why. Let's go through this quickly. With the Royals in 86, he threw 121 innings. With the Mariners in 87, he went up to 149 and 1/3, 135 in 1988, and then in 1989, he appeared in 33 games, threw 210 and 1/3 innings. He went 14 and 6 with a 3.34 ERA, and then in 1990, something must have happened to his elbow. I would think. Doesn't it sound like it would? Because his arm probably wasn't used to all those innings pitched. Now this, I told Jesse I was going to burn. And I'm angry that he put this in the pack. How dare you? How dare you include this in my pack? Should I set it on fire? Would you watch me set this on fire? Should I make a video of me setting this on fire? Let me know. Because I will. If you want me to, I will. I do not remember this guy at all. What year is this? A 99 card. Why wouldn't... Well, Interleague was young then. And I don't think this is a guy that amounted to much, right? Armando Almanza of the Florida Marlins. Vinny wants me to burn that card. I know you do, Vinny. Although, he's a minor leaguer. Okay, he's a minor leaguer, that's why. He had a 167 ERA and 36 saves with Port William. That's pretty good. I mean, I know it's the minors, but those are pretty good numbers. All right, we're down to our last 2 cards. Former Yankee, who was traded to the Pittsburgh Pirates. And people were all upset about it, and then he was released from... Wasn't he designated for assignment? Hoy Park. So this is actually a 2022 card. This is relatively new. So in 2021, he played in 44 games with the Pirates, had 127 at-bats, batted 197. Yeah. Weirdest time I tried buying a pack of baseball cards was in 1977. Candy Store had a super long line selling newspapers that had... Oh, yes. The Son of Sam, if I recall correctly, one of his murder victims was named Stacey, and that kind of freaked my mother out because I turned 3 the summer of 1977, and yeah, she was kind of freaked out by that. Also, hi, David Samuel Blaine. Welcome to the chat. The blackout happened that year, that summer. Like, that summer was really, yeah, it was a weird time to be living in New York City. I don't remember that much because, as I said, I turned 3 August 26th of 1977. I do have some memories of that summer, mostly related to music, but I can imagine as an adult, it was a really scary time to live in New York City. I lived in Manhattan with my parents still because my brother wasn't born yet. He was conceived during the blackout of 1977, which I always liked bringing up to my parents because I thought it was funny. So we're down to our last card. And who is it? It's a top heritage card, and it is Eric Hosmer. Eric Hosmer is a disappointment, according to the people who watched him on the teams that he's played for. And he's not terrible, but I think people were expecting more from him. As I drop the card. This is a 2022 card, by the way. Yeah. Started with the Royals, as we all remember. Born on October 24th, 1989 in South Miami, Florida. He lives in Cooper City, Florida. He was an all-star in 2016, hitting .299 in the first half. That's pretty damn good. How did he finish 2016? 2016. Oh my God. Okay, it's late. I'm tired. He finished 266. 161 hits in 605 at-bats. And he had 25 home runs and 104 runs batted in. So, those are the cards. All over the place. All different years, all different types of players. You have some Hall of Famers thrown in there. You have some guys you've never heard of before. My first set of cards that my dad got me, Vinny, my brother was born April of 78 because he was conceived during the blackout in 77. Which I always, like I said, I always like bringing that up now to my mother because she's still alive. My dad is not, but I just always thought that was funny. I remember my mother being pregnant with him. I was very excited. I really wanted a younger brother. I was very excited about that. And I helped my mom take care of him. I also helped my mom when she was too pregnant to leave the house. Could you imagine? 1978, Manhattan. She allowed me to walk to the store around the corner out of her sight at 3 years old. I was nearly 4, but I was still 3 years old, and I walked with a list around the corner to the groceries. It was a small market, and a man named Murray owned it, and I would give him the list, and they would take me around the store, and I'd pick the stuff up for my mom, like milk and eggs and all that stuff, and I'd give him the money, and I'd go back to the apartment a block away. It's crazy. Yeah. So, if you want to see me burn that Astros card, I'll do it. I just have to make sure it's a safe thing for me to do. I don't want to, I don't want to cause a fire hazard in my house. But yeah, you had to see me as I was going through all those cards, and I got to that one, and I got really angry. It was, how dare you? How dare you expose me to this? It was bad enough watching it for the first time. Why would I want to see it again? So... this was fun. This was fun. As I was going to say, my first set of baseball cards that my dad got me was the 1983 Top set. And it's somewhere in my garage. I have to find it. But I would trade baseball cards with my guy friends in elementary school, and we would flip cards and steal cards from each other. And, you know, I'd play catch with them, even though I don't really see well out of this eye at all. But I didn't want to have that stop me from doing anything because I always liked playing sports with the boys. And, oh yeah, I could do that, Vinny. Vinny says to put it in the kitchen sink so you can put water on it. That's a good idea. And I played kickball with the guys. In kindergarten, I played trucks and built things with the boys. And, yeah, because I was the oldest, my dad got me a baseball glove first. I loved that thing. And we'd play catch when he got home from work. But my mom wouldn't let me play baseball because I'm nearly blind in this eye. And I'm also a righty, so I would be like this. And it just wouldn't work. So Amos says turn the Astros to the Astros. Astros. Let's say that correctly and not say the bad word. Astros. Good idea. Like ashtray. Clever. So thank you all for joining me. And again, if you want me to do more live streams and, you know, we can chat, I'll make sure the chat I'll make it sync better so it's not so far behind. And the picture's not so far behind because I didn't set that correctly. And yeah, I enjoy doing these. It's fun. And, you know, we can have a fun conversation. And also feel free in the comments to today's video, in which I discuss why the Pirates are bad for baseball, and discuss Omar Manaya's hire. If you could, leave in those comments questions that you have about the Yankees, because I'll do like a mailbag sort of show next week. I kind of like the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday schedule for being down to 3 days a week. If anything changes, I'll let you all know. But for now, that's it for this live stream. Again, thank you for joining me. Ralph, David, Vinny, Amos. I'm missing people, aren't I? I think I might be. Thank you all for joining me. This was fun. And Michael, Shandon, Albert, I see you all. And I appreciate you for joining me here. And again, leave questions for any kind of questions that you have for me to answer about the Yankees. You know, I still don't think they're done with moves, but we'll see about that. So have a good weekend. Have a safe weekend. And I will talk to you all next week.